pause much, don't talk on the phone, but you can hit me on the court lust in the forefront while I store us on a tour bus with a beat loud. We can speak now, if you ring then it's all hush.
A lot of your music entails interpretations, and it's sort of like a snapshot of your daily life, you know, embedded into your music. What sort of expressions and perspective have you been drawn towards, you know, as your career has progressed?
I think I've always been a person who's wanted to interpret life and current events into music. That's always been a very important role in my art, to be a mirror not only to myself but for others. I think that rap oftentimes focuses on only the reality of the writer and not the reality of the people listening to it. And I've always been one to challenge that.
How important is it for you to give people a message without actually preaching?
It's extremely important for me to give a message without preaching. I think that's a major turnoff for many underground artists and independent rappers, whereas mainstream music will oftentimes not have a message at all, and independent music will oftentimes focus solely on the message and forget that music is supposed to be enjoyed. Finding that balance between the two, I think, is key, and that's been something that's been extremely important to me, important in my music. I've always looked to an artist like Marvin Gaye, who managed to deliver a message in a fun song. So if you want to, you can dance to it, but if you don't want to dance to it, you can stop and listen to what he's talking about, and one doesn't take away from the other.
It's all about having a real message, and you get some artists that cater to the music of having. And I understand you like to cater towards the music of having just normal things, not your cars, not your glitz, not your glamour, just the normal things. In what way do you like to incorporate that?
Well, I think with this new record, that is very much what it is about. The Good Fight is about making a form of music that needs to be made. We have plenty of music that is dedicated to fantasy, and not enough music that's dedicated to positive reality or just an actual reality. There's so much music dedicated towards the cruelties of reality, or glorifying and objectifying the darkness of reality, as in a lot of urban music. But where is the music that just tells it how it is and lets us know that it's okay to be perfectly normal? And I think that that's what I've chose to do with my music, simply because it needs to be made.
How pleasing is it for you to know that your music, you know, sort of genre hops, and you get people who from all individuals from all sort of music listening, and they appreciate your music? I mean, not just hip hop fans.
Sure. I'm forever grateful for my fan base and how broad my demographic is. It's something that I've consciously sought to have, and to know that it's I'm achieving it means that I'm doing something right. And that's pretty much the only look that I need to know that my music is good, that it's doing right, is I have this idea in my head, I perceive the world in such a way, I interpret that in my music, and then it's reciprocated back to me. And that's something that I'm forever grateful for. Just recently, I finished a promo tour in North America, and I was doing a show in Boston, and I'd say a mid-40s, early 50s Asian man comes up to me and offers me a bag of coffee from his wife's roaster. She was a roaster, and she made some coffee beans because they knew I was a fan of coffee. So they roasted these beans for me and gave them to me and said, "I'll see you inside, I'm coming to the show." Right before I get into the door, I say a 21-year-old white male from Maine offers me another bag of beans that he roasted himself. And that difference, and then I walk inside the venue and every race, color, and creed was represented at a sold-out show.
Amazing, yeah.
That's something that I've always wanted, and it came from traveling. It comes from the diversity of my own background.
I wanted to get your views on some of the material on the album, and there's a song entitled "Belong to the World," and here's like a great drum presence with it, some piano, and the overall pace is so impressive. Tell us about formulating and layering this song, how you go about, you know, constructing such a distinct and such a likable song like this.
With my records, I think with each record that comes about, I'm always striving to push the boundaries to get more of a popular feel to the music, but without losing my independent roots. And a song like "Belong to the World," I felt that marriage was truly met, whereas it has this traditional boom bap beat break that I sought out to have, where the rhymes are a lot more traditional in their pattern. However, the drums are cut in half the speed during the chorus and played at a slower tempo, which is very much where modern rap music is right now. those shuffling hi-hats, etc. That's in so much, if you want to call it, trap music. And the marriage between the two was a remnant of the past and an ode to the present at the exact same time. And that's exactly what I wanted to have in that record.
And also, I wanted to get your views on That's Love. You know, it entails kind of like the idea that you can't escape love. Tell us more about the origins of this track.
For me, I've always been a fan, again, of popular formulas, but adjusting them to have more substance. And a topic, a subject matter like love is such a cliche. You can very, very easily write a corny song as soon as you start talking about love. So I wanted to challenge myself to write about the strongest emotion of them all, but in a way that wasn't corny, in a way that wasn't a walking cliche. And for me, that was attacking the good sides of it and the bad sides of it. Everyone focuses on the good side, and there's plenty of songs bashing love, where people are emotionally, astray and distraught. The combination of the two is what I set out to do with that. The reality of love. Sometimes love can do more harm than good. If you truly love someone that is bad for you in your life, but it's your love that keeps you there, that does more harm than good for you. So where's the song for that? Where's the music for that? And that's what The Good Fight is about, making the music that needs to be made, speaking about things that need to be spoken about.
What are your views knowing that we no longer live in an industry where one size fits all?
I love the fact that we no longer live in an industry where one size fits all. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have a career. I always say in many interviews, I don't mind being put in a box. Just put me in as many boxes as possible. You can no longer put someone in a box. And humans, it's our nature to categorize and just place things in little segments so that we feel better about how we can understand them. It's just our nature. Oh, you're this way, so I have to put you in this box so I feel more comfortable with you, so you make sense to me. It's our nature. I don't fight that. I think people who do fight that are fighting a losing battle. Let people categorize you how they want to categorize you. Categorize yourself the exact same way as they do. I have a massive catalog of music. I don't walk around with a torch trying to educate everyone on everything that I've done. In fact, I prefer for most people not to know what I've done. If you only know me from my instrumental work and you don't know I rap, fine. If you only know me as a rapper and you don't know my instrumental work, fine. If you only know me from my latest record and you don't know that I have dozens of records, fine.
Do you feel like it's very much a case of it's for those who seek your music instead of being spoon-fed?
Yeah. You've done your research. Absolutely. That's something that I wholeheartedly believe in is, take from me what you get, and I don't mind if you don't get the rest of it. That apparently was good enough for you, and that's good enough for me.
You know very much about the imbalance of the world. As you go back to Sudan once or twice every year, and coming from a diverse background, how important is it for you, and how liberating is it for you through your travels, finding out that for you, community and family is very much everything?
My background is one of the main influences in my music. With my father being from northern Sudan, my mother being African American, growing up, my mother comes from a poor family. My father comes from a family that worked themselves up to being better than where they started off. Understanding what true poverty was and imbalance has given me a great gift. It's taught me that most of the things we value in the Western world don't matter. And it's taught me not to covet them, not to worship them, and not to aspire for them. And the only thing truly left when you understand that is wanting your time. To do what you want with your time is what life is about. It's not about what you can buy. It's not about what you can show people you have. It's about doing what you want with your time, because that's all we have. You're born and you die. What do you do with your time? And my travels to Sudan made me really understand that. The most important thing I feel like in Sudanese culture is family and time. And it's funny because no one there knows what time it is. You don't see a watch anywhere on a wall in my house in Sudan. The average person in Sudan doesn't even know how old they are. I have to remind my father when his birthday is. And I was raised the same way. I never had a birthday growing up. That side of time doesn't matter. It's what you spend, what activities you do is how you measure your time, not the actual physical calendar. And that's a beautiful thing that was given to me. And as a result of that, I do everything on my own pace.
Whilst you've been in London, also, I mean, there's a special place that you wanted to visit, Peppers and Spice in Dalston.
Yeah, it's like my favorite patty on the planet. I love it. Every time I'm in London, I go to Peppers and Spice. I stand in line like everybody else, and I get 2 patties, and I walk about. That's it.